Hey, you're here. I just was listening to this amazing audiobook. You know it's audiobook month, right? June, audiobook month. Well, if you didn't know, now you know. And would you like to know how to make one? Hey there, welcome to Pen to Paper. I'm Leah Lindeman, author of the Canadian Reminiscence Series. Today, I'm going to teach you first, I'm going to share how I made my first audiobook with you, and then give you some ideas for some variations of what I've done that could be used by you. Now, if you have written a book and it's published and you get this age-old question, is it an audiobook? Where can I find it as an audiobook? And it's not, but it's something you really want to get done. Well, June is either the perfect month to release an audiobook that maybe you've been working on for a while, or to actually start one, because the marketing stars have aligned in our favor. I am actually releasing my first audiobook for the first time ever this month. At the end of the month, I have uploaded all my files to Findaway Voices. It's going to be distributed on 36 to 37 different platforms, including Audible and all the major ones. And so it's been reviewed by the review team. It's ready to go. It just takes time to get to the distribution channels. But hopefully I'll have some redemption codes ready by the end of this week to send to my advanced listener. So if you want to be an advanced listener, go ahead and click that link down below in the description and I will send you a code free of charge. I would just really appreciate a review by the end of the time that you're able to listen to it. But I have promised you to share how I even put together my audiobook. Now, just a little disclaimer, I started my audiobook 7 to 8 years ago. So I was just sharing with some friends, who I will mention later because they're very important ones for this month, that listening back to the files that I created, they're not bad, but I can definitely see where things could have been better. And that's okay, because I'm not going to redo the whole book. And we put in all that work 7 to 8 years ago. It's good to go. It's fine for the first, time to put out an audiobook, so that's what I'm going with, and I've edited it to the best of my abilities. I'm not going to go into editing an audiobook here, but I'm just going to go into how I put it together, and as I said, some variations of what you can do. So there's 3 different ways you can go about this. I think I'm going to start with even not what I did, but let's say you want to put together your audiobook and you are perfectly happy and fine to be the narrator, to be the male, female voices of your book, and you are looking forward to that challenge. Maybe you enjoy acting, then this is going to be very simple for you. You just need a computer. You don't need, but the program that I used was Audacity, Audacity. It's a very easy and free to download program, and with just a few press record, stop record, it's easy to record what you want to record. And if you can't get that, then just YouTube it or Google it. There's so many videos on how to use Audacity. So you need a computer, use Audacity. I know there are other programs out there. That's just the one that I use because it's free, it's easy to use, and what else do you need? And if you can get a mic. Now, if it's just yourself, you can actually get the mic that I use here. It's just a clip-on mic. It's called a PRO-LAV mic. I will put this mic purchase link in the description below. It's $24 only. That's really, really good. You could make your audiobook with just a $24 mic, and that's your budget. Wow. Okay, this could be really cheap. So, or even if you don't want to spend the $24, use your computer speakers. Hopefully it's a newer computer. With my newest Mac, I upgraded from a 2013 Mac to a 2024 Mac. It's got beautiful sound, the speakers, it captures things well. So, I mean, if you have something very current, it could do the job just as well. And if you're happy with that, that's great. And that's all you really need to put together an audiobook. Now I'm going to share the way I did it. I wanted a cast of voices. I wanted a specific person for Evelyn, and a specific person for her husband Carl, and a specific person for Gerald, the elusive doctor. And now, at the time when I did this, I was part of a theater company. And what I did was I just put out the word to my friends we were doing theater productions together. I did some theater, I sang in theater, I was stage managing, and they were also acting and doing these productions. And so I just put out the word and said, hey, is anyone, cool enough, not cool enough, but are you interested in being a part of this audiobook? And I had hands raised all over the place. Held some auditions over phone, and that was it. I picked my people and off we went to create the audiobook. Hey, if you enjoy content like this on a weekly basis that has to do with writing and I guess audiobooks now and anything to do with writing, publishing, and whatever I've learned from marketing, then please click the like button, subscribe, hit the bell down below, and I'll see you next week. So what we did is I actually back in the day, I had a blue snowball. Actually, it's what I used in my videos, like even just a month ago, but I've had to retire this guy because it was making this like weird crackling noise, and then I just couldn't use the audio in the videos anymore. So that's why I've upgraded to this PRO-LAV mic, which is only $24, whereas that was about $70 to $80, and you can still get that today. But it's a mic that I was able to put on a table in the middle of the room, and basically myself, who I narrate, the narrator parts of the book, and the cast, we sat around it, and I was able to pick up all our voices. So if you go the cast way, you can get a mic like that. There's other mics too that are more expensive, but just a mic that is able to pick up around. And what we did to help with the noise quality, because obviously if you're in a room where there's a lot of spaces where a sound can hit, you're going to get a more echoey sound, and it's just not going to be as high quality as it could be. So what we did is I brought a bunch of blankets, like heavy, thick blankets, and we basically pinned them with thumbtacks to the walls. And that was our little studio. And we just did that. And then what we did is, for this cast of characters, I figured out which character was in which chapters, and then this takes a lot of organization, but hey, if you like it, then you can do it. Took those characters, and then I said, okay, this night we need these characters, and this night we need these characters. So it was kind of like making a movie in the sense that all the scenes and chapters were not in order ever. Maybe we had a few, but most of the time they were out of order, and just threw my actors to the wolves. Not really, but so that was the experience that we did. And I've got to tell you, just be ready for this. If you have a cast of characters, be ready to have bloopers edition. It's crazy funny, the things that come out of our mouths when we're either nervous, or we just say the wrong thing, or we just riff off of each other. And then there's a lot of editing afterward that is required. And it's so sad, because I had bloopers for this book and something happened to the file and it's all gone. So you guys won't be able to hear the bloopers from this book. There was some really, really great ones. But the sequel, I'm going to make sure I lock that in so you can hear those bloopers. That's a little side note. So that's what I did with my cast. Now, a variation that I would propose, if you would like, is that you could have your setup at home, and really, if you want the great sound quality, you can stick yourself in a closet, you know, surrounded by dresses and shirts and pants and whatever to really, really dampen your sound and catch that sound quality. And then use a PRO-LAV mic like this or your computer speakers and just say your part. Now, maybe you're just narrating, maybe you're narrating and doing the main female voice, whatever voices you choose to act or do or say or narrate, you do it at home. Now, perhaps you have cast members and, you know, you want them to do it at home, or they just don't want to come all together and make that drive and make that time. They just want to do it on their own time. Then they can do it at home. Now, if you are local, this is actually what I'm doing for my friend, Emily Murray. She wrote Alexandria Fire, Danny and Danny, so Danny girl, Danny boy. And she is in the process of doing her audiobook for this book. And what she's doing, or what I suggested she does, is that she does her setup at home, does all her lines, all her chapters, and then the guy who's voicing Danny Boy is local to us. So I said, well, then we'll just take your mic, because she has a nice professional mic, take that setup, move it to his house, figure out a space where he's going to do that, so closet, whatever, and we'll set him up there, and then he can do his lines on his own time. Now, for her, in her case, she's not in a huge rush to have this done. She just wants it to be a fun project, and I guess whenever it gets done, it gets done. And for you, it may be different. Maybe you do have a timeline that you want this wrapped up. So if that person is local to your other cast members, you can do that. You know, do your lines, finish it, move the setup to their house, set that up, get them done, move it, move it, move it. Or if you don't mind, you can have the setup at your house and then just tell them, download Audacity. If they have a mic, great. If they don't and you're okay with speaker mic, then get them to use their speaker mic, but at least, and then you can do it all at the same time. Now, once everyone is done narrating or saying their parts, then you would receive those on USBs, and then you could, it would just be a lot of editing, I guess, on your part. You would have to listen to it and then know when their line comes up and you're like, oh, okay, now I'm gonna copy paste that into where it's supposed to be. You could do that too. It really depends on you. So those are the three different variations that, well, first one is super easy, second one I did, and third one I came up with if it's just not a setup where you can come together. But if you want to do an audiobook of your book, then do it. What's stopping you? And you know you want to do it, and maybe you just don't have the budget to give it out to professional narrators and voice actors, then just do it. It's a great experience. You're going to learn some new skills, and that's a great thing always, right? To stretch ourselves, challenge, to learn. So I highly, highly encourage you to do this, and I hope that my three different ways or variations to do it have given you hope that it is something you can accomplish and do. And if you have questions, or maybe if I wasn't very clear, please go down in the comments and just type in your questions, or if I can encourage you in any way, just let me know. And now, before I close off this portion, I really do want to give a huge shout out. I've already mentioned them before, but I'm gonna mention them again. I think I mentioned them in my last week's video, and then when I did the book review for The Cruel Dark by Bea Northwick, is Theo and Maddie. They are a stellar, and I mean like stellar, 10 stars, narrating, voice acting team for audiobooks. So let's say you're like, yeah, no, I really don't want to do all this by myself. I don't want to narrate. I don't want to deal with having to find a voice cast. I just want to pay someone to do it all for me. And you want someone really good, please get Theo and Maddie. Just do yourself a favor. Go listen to their work. They've done The Cruel Dark. They've done another one called Alpha Theo by CJ Primer. They've just done, I think it's like I can't remember now. They've done a few. I'm going to put their Instagram handle down below. Check them out. They're so, so good. You can really tell they're just like oozing the character, and you can hear it dripping from their voices. So if you want something very like, you could just like sit and listen and imagine them, and you just imagine the whole story. They're so, so good. So when you have the budget for that, get Theo and Maddie. All right, you got it? You're not going to get anybody else, right? You're going to get them. Anyways. Oh, and one more note. Okay. One more thing with getting a voice cast. If you're like, okay, I want a voice cast, I just have no clue how to find one, because remember, I was connected. I had people that I knew who could act the parts. One thing you could do, we all live in a local city, a local town, right? So it's going to take a little bit of digging, a little bit of research, but you can do it. Go on Facebook and go to your local town or local cities, events pages or members groups pages, and be a part of them. And then literally just type out a post. Hey, I'm doing an audiobook. I'm looking for voice actors. Anybody interested? Boom. Now, most probably you're going to get people interested. Who wouldn't want to be in your audiobook? That's right. So don't just do it on one group or page, whatever. Do it on a few. And then hold auditions over the phone, you know? And you're going to send them parts, give them a few lines of the character that they got to say, and then give them some direction, hold auditions. It's a lot of fun. It's like directing your own movie, except you're directing your own audiobook. Yeah, it's good. All right, see you next week.